Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are good बच्चों. So today we are going to start our new topic बच्चे which is related to essay writing. Okay, essay को हम हिंदी में निबंध भी बोलते हैं बच्चे. Okay, so let's begin. थोड़ा सा essay से related यहाँ पर कुछ दिया गया है 4 lines में. So let's discuss. Writing an essay is an art. It is a method to present the writer's ideas and facts on a subject in a substantial and logical manner. In a simple but emphatic language, an essay should begin with an introduction in which the topic is introduced, followed by all relevant facts, merits, demerits, other details, and it should end with a conclusion based on logical inference. मीन्स बच्चे यहाँ पर बताया गया है कि जो ऐसे है वो एक आर्ट होती है. ओके, लिखने की कला होती है. जो भी उसको लिखता है, जो भी राइटर्स होता है, वो अपने आइडियाज को, फैक्ट्स को, जो भी उसको सब्जेक्ट्स मिला होता है उसके बेस पर प्रॉपर लॉजिकल मैनर में प्रेजेंट करता है. ओके, एम्फेटिक लैंग्वेज के अंदर. तो ये सब चीजें होती हैं जो इंट्रोड्यूस कराती हैं टॉपिक्स को. फिर रेलेवेंट फैक्ट्स उसके अंदर होते हैं, मेरिट्स क्या हैं उसके, डीमेरिट्स क्या होते हैं, अदर डिटेल्स भी वहां पर मेंशन होती है. ओके, सो ये सब चीजें बच्चे कंक्लूजन के साथ एंड करना होता है. तो हर एक ऐसे को हम इसी वे में राइट डाउन करते हैं. सो देयर आर सम एग्जांपल्स ऑफ रिटन ऐसे. सो फर्स्ट वी विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम सर्व शिक्षा अभियान. The directive principles of state policy as mentioned in the Constitution of India envisages of realize free and compulsory education for all children up to the age of 14 years. The program of Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan is set up in the realizations of this dream of constitution makers. According to this scheme, all school-going children should complete their 5 years primary education by 2007 and then their 3 years elementary education by 2010. 5 years have already passed since its inception. The progress reports of the first phase of the plan has been published, but the target aimed at is still a far cry. Despite sizable allocations of funds for the betterment of infrastructures, the drive has not been a complete success. Lack of motivation among teachers and local monitoring bodies is responsible for its inability to meet its target. The scheme has to be looked at as a tool for bringing much needed success for suffering masses. A coordinating efforts to all those involved in it is needed for the successful implementations of the प्लान. नेक्स्ट है बच्चे एक्सर्शंस एंड एजुकेशन को लेकर जो हमारा टॉपिक दिया गया है जिसके बेस पर हमें एक ऐसे राइट डाउन करना है. सो मैन हैज रीच्ड द प्रेजेंट स्टेज ऑफ डेवलपमेंट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ नॉलेज. ही स्ट्राइव्स फॉर द नॉलेज एवरी मोमेंट. बुक्स, रेडियो, टेलीविजन्स एंड इंटरनेट फीड हिज माइंड विद इंफॉर्मेशन एवरी टाइम, बट ऑल द रिजल्ट्स इज mere bookish knowledge that does not go far. Man wants to be expand his mental horizons through direct experiences, and exertion is a suitable method for this. This is the reason that he goes out of his known bounds and travels his unknown worlds. He comes into close contact with the nature, strange peoples, peculiar customs, unknown rituals, and amazing lands. He learns an invaluable lessons of strange environment with joy. This type of exposure helps him mold his life a great deal. Besides, the travelers can escape the dull monotony of daily life. It refreshes his spirits, halves his stress and strain, and removes his mental narrowness. It makes him smart and self-reliant. He learns to accept different things than he has been conversing so far. Today, traveling involves fewer hazards due to fabulous progress in the field of transport and communication. Exertions are all the more necessary as it is a part of education and open up students' minds to receive the words properly. Next है बच्चे vocational education. Vocational education is meant for life. It impacts practical training required for a calling in life. It helps a person to earn his livelihood. It aims at a revelation of his skills and pays respect to his taste and aptitude, and thus lays a solid foundation of his career. In a country like India, vocationalization of education has to be given priority because a large part of our education is theoretical, which can at best produce clerks and peons, simply because higher education fails to secure the educated their livelihoods. Hence, job-oriented education is the need of the hours. Besides, the world is changing fast. With the introduction of computer and internet is almost all walks of life. New avenues of jobs are being opened up, and vocational education can help people to become expert in this field. The system of education can be reoriented with a view on vocational education. The government should encourage the youth to go in for vocational education so that they can get wider accessibilities to vast and varied fields to employment all over the globe. However, it's necessary for a student to keep in view his own interest, aptitude, attitudes and ability before choosing a field. Next, students, positive thinking. All of us have similar bodies, but it is our thinking that makes us different from others. It's our way of thinking that makes us good or evil. A person with positive ideas does positive things in life. He thinks in terms of goodness and for the welfare of fellow beings, society and mankind at large. On the other hand, a person with negative thoughts thinks how he can derive maximum benefits through his mischief by making others suffer. The positive thinker ascends the heights of fame and is remembered years after he ceases to live. On the other hand, an evil person is despised of by the contemporary people, even let alone the generations that follow. Even Hitler had to possess positive thoughts to ascend to the chancellorship of Germany. Only then his negative thoughts brought misery to the world and he made mankind suffer, which ultimately brought his downfall. Ravana to register his name in the epics on the strength of good qualities he possessed. The only thing was he misused them. Positive thinking entails that one should think for good things and employs his powerness of striving to achieve what is good and noble. A person of a positive bent of minds binds everything around is well disposed and he will succeed in whatever he does. But on the other hand, a person with a negative bent of mind may succeed for a while, but he finds nothing but harm done to himself and the society. A positive person finds that many people are ever ready to help him, while a negative person does not find anyone in times of his crisis. That is the greatest merit of positive thinking. Next, students, my favorite poet. Among all the poets whom I have read, Rabindranath Tagore moves me the most. I wonder at the variety and the vastness of his creation. He is the most dependable guide of the erring humanity. His poetry betrays highest artist reminiscent, and he is not only a poet but a seer. He fills my heart with joy and woe. I read his poems again and again, every time with renewed interest. I have already gone through some of his marvelous works like Sonar Teri, Chitra, Gitanjali and Balka. Whenever I go, I cry his Shishu Bholenath and the Kantha Kahani with me. In the trust sense, Rabindranath Tagore has epitomized life, but the most striking features of his poetic works lay all of his creations in his influencing faith in humanity. I think he is the true voice of the spirit of India and the dynamism of Europe. Next है बच्चे, national flag. The pride of a country is symbolized in its national flag as it epitomizes its civilization and cultures, heritage and freedom. The national flag of India is the tricolor or Tiranga. This is priceless possession in our country that bespeaks of its sovereignty. We Indians are bound to keep up the honor of our flag. That reflects in every way the hopes and aspirations and raised in our constitution. The tricolor has three colors: saffron at the top, white in the middle and green at bottom. The saffron stands for restraints and sacrifice, the white for piety and purity, the green for encourage and vitality. In the middle of the flag we have chakra with 24 spikes symbolizing 24 hours of the day. However, it is our great duty to keep up the honor of the flag as it constantly reminds us for our hard-earned freedom. Next, awareness about environment. Environment is sum total of all animate and inanimate objects that mutually interact and contribute to the growth and expansion of life. We all are our extensions of the environment. It is our responsibility to keep the ecological balance which comprise of different factors of the environment. But what we do is just the reverse. Rapid industrialization, vicious atomic explosions and the aggressive urbanizations result in the declines of forest zones in the world. All these activities adversely affect our lives. So there is a need for spreading awareness about a healthy environment. Both the environments and government and people must come forward and work concurrently for the betterment of the environment. Some concrete measures should be taken at once. Preservation of the forest and the wildlife and plantations of trees must be given a top priority. Side by side, pollution should be checked in all possible ways. The media should contribute in these vital aspects. Next is love for animals. God made this world colorful. A world without animals, birds and insects will be a dull place to inhabit. Birds and beasts are a vital part of our environment. They are our fellow creatures, our neighbors. Their presence is keenly felt in ecology and they keep up its balance. We cannot ignore them. Some animals are domestic and others are wild. We tame some animals to serve other purpose. Some of them live and lot years in dense forests far away from human habitations. Practically, they do us no harm. We should love and take care of them. In fact, love of animals is a noble feeling, but man is cruel and greedy by nature. He kills animals for flesh and fun. Hunting helpless animals is a sort to him. This has endangered the very survival of many species of animals and many of them have already become extinct. Cruelty of animals is a punishable offense. It is a moral duty to protect and preserve animals. After all, they too are blessed with life. School library बच्चे. So next, read out करते हैं. A school library is one of the most important facilities in a school. It is a vital part of our school life and education. We have a large school library in our school. It is located in an airy, well-lighted and spacious hall in one corner of the school building. There are cupboards and shelves for storing books. They are categorized and arranged well in them. Apart from textbooks and references books, the library has a strength of about 2,000 story books. The entire job of issuing and collecting books and journals is well managed by a librarian who sits near the entrance. There are 3 tables that serve our reading room, where we can read newspapers and magazines. The library provides us with an excellent scope to acquire knowledge and information on a variety of subjects in a peaceful environment. Though books are issued for a maximum period of 1 week at one time, the poor students are issued books for a longer durations in other to help them in their education. Next is students, city life. The cities have come to symbolize progress and development of modern times. City life has both attractive and ugly aspects of living. A city provides its dwellers with unlimited opportunities in the form of education and employment, medication and recreation. Thus, the city dwellers enjoy rich amenities of life which are generally lacking in rural areas. Good roads, well-equipped hospitals, means of transport, excellent academic and cultural institutes, etc. are the features of a modern city. However, all these amenities triggers of the unstoppable migration of villages to the cities. It puts remedies and pressures of the civic amenities in the cities. Overcrowding of cities result in a number of problems as congestions, unhealthy living space, air and noise pollution, answers or criminal activities, erratic supply of powers and drinking waters, unplanned drainage system. These are only some of various problems that the city dwellers face. The city life can be made good in overcrowding can be stopped, and it can be done only if suitable facilities are provided in the rural areas too. Next है बच्चे, बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao is a social campaign of the Government of India that aims to generate awareness and improve the efficiency of welfare services intended for girls. The scheme was launched by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 22nd of January 2015 at Panipat, Haryana. The scheme has been launched by keeping in mind the drastic condition of the girl's child in the Indian society. According to the statistic, the ratio of female childs per male child of age group 0 to 6 years was 945 per thousands in 1991, whereas it remains only 927 per thousand in 2001 and again reduced to the 1918 per thousand in 2011. If we see the census report, we see that the ratio of girl child is decreasing continuously each decades. It is danger related to the possibility of life on the earth. If nothing is applied positively on the urgent basis of reduce such a type of issues against girl, surely there would be a day without women and new births. Keeping in mind these bad figures of girl child in the country, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched the schemes Beti Bachao Beti Padhao. It is very effective scheme. It aims to improve the number of girl child, save girl child, eradicate females of the foeticides, given them proper securities and education, personal and professional development, etc. all over the country. This scheme has been implemented in 100 selected districts of the country by the joint initiative of the Ministry of Human Resource Development and Health and Ministry of Women and Child Development through a national campaign in order to cover all the states and the UTs. There are some positive aspects that this scheme would be proved as a great start to remove social issues against girl child. We hope that there would be a day when no girl child would be killed, uneducated, insecure, raped, etc. because of socio-economic reasons. Hence, Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme is aimed to make girls independent both socially and financially, but introducing the sex discrimination all over the country. Next है बच्चे, career in sports. Games and sports have become professional in the present times. Now the youth freely chosen a particular sports to build his career. The national and international sports are held to popularize different games and sports. All these competition and encourage players to show their caliber. Those who avail the chance to win laurels in life, the sportsmen receive worldwide recognition. Obviously, players are motivated to choose the sports in which they take interest and in which they can rise to zenith. Their parents are inspired to spend money, time and energy in molding their career. The prestigious sports meets like the Olympics, the FIFA World Cup, the Wimbledon's tennis, World Cup cricket, etc. make games highly exciting and popular. Under the impact of their immense popularity, children now begins to take up sports quite seriously. Painfully, only a few games receive the attention of the youth, due to which we lag behind other nations in the different games. However, the situation is changing for the better gradually. Next है बच्चे 2020 cricket. 2020 or T20 cricket is an interesting and exciting version of cricket. It is likely to eclipse the popularity of one-day cricket. The increasing popularity of T20 cricket proves that the spirit of the age claims the new genres of game. In this age, a 50-over match seems time-consuming and a bit boring. Hence, giving a new shape of game is necessary. T20 wonderfully meets the claims of the age. The very essence of T20 lies in quick encounters, aggressions, and frequent upsets. The teams contested the game must be able to fight the opponent's back. Speed is the soul of the game. It has endeared it to masses. The highly technical and delicate art of the game of bygones era is gone. Now start to process of democratizations in cricket. Let us all welcome the new game of cricket. T20 is here to stay. Next है बच्चे, a memorable day in life. Some days create a place for themselves in memory and are reminiscent of the past. The memory is always pleasant, though it may have a dread or sadness woven in the fabric of life. The most memorable day of life was when my parents decided to adopt my sister Trisha. I, being the only son in the family, received all attentions and facilities that I could ever dream. Yet I felt sad and forlorn as we lived in a flat where existed hardly an opportunity to mingle with boys of my age. I felt all alone. I longed for company. Parents felt for me. So Trisha was bought come from an orphanage. I went with my parents to bring home my sisters from the children orphanage. When we bought her, she was an infant, a cute little baby. She was lovely, full of lustres. Her presence made the homely environment exciting and lively. I was happiest to have a sweet sisters of my own. It was a day of all days. The love that was founded in those early days continues to this day, stronger than ever before. Next, students, a helping hand to a stranger. It was a hot summer day. I was going to my friend's house. As I walked along the street, I found a gentleman sitting helplessly on the pavements. As I drew near, I saw him panting desperately. I inquired about his health. He could hardly speak. He was breathing hard. I sensed if he had heart trouble. I made a quick decision. Calling a taxi, I took him to the nearby government hospital and got him admitted there. As the doctors attended to him, I searched out his pockets to get his addresses. I got his mobile phone. I dialed 2-3 numbers from its call history. I soon found who the man in and where he lives. I rang his home and informed about his health. His relatives reached the hospital about 1 hour later. They thanked me heartily. I was happy to do my mite for ailing persons in difficulty. The man was discharged from the hospital 2 days later. Now he is no more a stranger to me. Next है बच्चे tolerance. Tolerance is the noblest virtue. It is the capacity to adjust with adverse circumstances or accept even unfavorable comments from others. The happiness of a family largely rests upon the tolerant attitude of its members to one another. Again, it is of immense value all aspects of life in school, in society and at work. A society is formed of people of different castes, creeds and classes. They may possess varying tastes and opinions, manners and rituals. The variety embedded in tolerance in the very strength of the society. If we are not rational and objective, we cannot accept the opposite views of other people. All social institutions break down in the absence of tolerance. Tolerance is badly needed in our country. Religious tolerance has already taken a toll of human lives. It raises its ugly head to threaten our very integrity. It must be kept in mind that cultivation of tolerance is the first condition of a happy family and social life. Next है बच्चे contentment. Contentment, a great moral virtue, means self-satisfaction, which is relative of one's status and position. It is often an inborn quality. It is source of happiness in life. However, man despise the achieve more and more, and insatiable hungers urge him to grasp and grab what he can. However, there is a difference between the contentment and greed. Contentment means to be happy with one's achievements while continuing to make efforts for others' achievements, while greed is dissatisfaction with the present with a desire to have more and more whether a person is eligible for it or not. Contentment is as expressions of joy, but this does not end this point. As he starts a fresh journey to a newer avenues, we must accept misfortune or failures with a calm mind. He may or may not achieve the newer goals, yet he will not be disturbed because the contentment makes him happy. On the other hand, greed makes him restless. He breeds and finds life a burden. Therefore, the virtue of contentment has to be inculcated in us. We have to learn to adjust ourselves with the situations while making an effort to change the situation suitably. Next है बच्चों dignity of labor. Dignity of labor means respect for physical work. In our country, manual labor is not given the importance it deserves. We all enjoy the fruits of physical labor, yet we are prone to undermine its significance. Our education system is largely responsible for this. It is more theoretical than practical. The state too does not other right status of manual labor. We are trained so as to grow the habit of getting our work done by others. Again, we all hanker after white-collar jobs, but such jobs are limited in number. Moreover, they may be easy for a person, yet their contributions to the progress and development of the nation and world is negligible. A hordes of people close a few clerical job net cost outcome and frustrations and depressions. However, it is soothing sight to see many young people opting for professions in science and technology. It is on their shoulders that the future of the country depends. Next है बच्चे, a boat journey. On last Sunday, I went to visit my friend's house at Srinagar, a village located on the banks of Ganga river. He promised me a boat journey across the river. On the next morning, we walked to the river banks and boarded a boat. We were 8 in number. The river was glittering in the bright waves and rays of the sun. The wind and the current being favorable, our boat drifted on by itself. The oarsmen had leisure time. As the boat approached the middle stream, I feasted my eyes on the lovely sights of fast-flowing waters and evergreen forest on the banks. Many village boys were bathing. The women were washing clothes or utensils, fishermen catching fish, and a person was bathing his buffaloes. I was overjoyed to see the floating clouds in the sky. My friend started singing. All others joined him in a chorus. Everything around us was bright and beautiful. We came back home towards this evening. The journey has left a lasting impressions on my mind. Next, students, advertisement. An advertisement informs us of what is present around us. It is an integral part of modern way of our life. Our commercial, social and administrative organs cannot be functioned smoothly without advertising. It establishes a bridge between employers and employees, buyers and sellers, bridges and grooms, so it is a twice blessed. In fact, it keeps the world going. Mass media like newspaper, television, radio, etc. play an important role as vehicles of advertisements. Now, railway stations, boundary walls, light, post, carry bags, even the cover of notebooks are used to advertising. Their advertisements makes people aware of things that may choose to buy. Commercial advertisements thus decide to choice of buyers. People come to learn about merits and demerit to products as they can compare freely. But advertising has dark side too. It often misleads us and increases rank consumerism. We must be cautious of the aggregations that all advertisements tend to practice. Next है बच्चे, voluntary blood donation. Voluntary blood donation is noble social service. More than 3/4 of our population depends upon government hospitals for treatment. The people suffering from different diseases and victims of accidents often requires blood transfusion. Besides, surgical operations hardly go without blood transfusions. Hence, the blood banks of hospitals should always be well stocked to meet the demands of vital need. A major share of blood comes from voluntary donors. Still, people face the scarcity of blood in emergency. It happens because people at large are not fully aware of need to donate blood. We must know that blood donation is not all the harmful of a normally healthy person. The blood donated is made by the body within 48 hours. A person can give blood at regular intervals without any side effects. However, all precautionary measures should be taken prior to blood donations, and infected needles and bottles must not be used. Let us all be mentally prepared to donate blood for the noble cause of our ailing brethren. Old age and generation gap है बच्चों. Next, change is the law of nature and life. The old order changes, yielding place to the new. This has to be realized so that our duty to the old becomes clear to us. The old were not born old. They were young ones. Time has devoured their physical strength and energy, but all is not lost. They have profound experience that may guide the youth. No doubt, a sense of isolation haunts the aged. It is our duty to stand by them and sweeten the rest of their life with our love and sympathy, care and considerations. Old age homes and generation gap are contrary to the Indian way of life. Our social values promote family bonds. We do never support any hiatus between the old and the young. The young should take opportunity to build upon the experience of the aged in order of the brings lasers to their future life. Next, students, corruption. Corruption, a moral perversion, a false practice that negates the value of life. A corrupt man seeks to serve his selfish interest at any cost. Sadly enough, our country has earned notoriety for rampant corruption in almost all walks of life. Bribery, nepotism, misappropriations, etc. seem to be the guiding principle of our national life. In fact, dirty politics nurtures and nourishes corruption. But what is distinguished in the corruption has come to enjoy social respectability today. We are used to grim pictures of corrupt activities in hospitals and corporations, offices and institutes. Public services are badly affected, bringing about untold sufferings in common peoples. To weed out corruption from the society, we badly need a thought reform of the political process and a content public alternates and regarding all public services and issues. The cancer of corruption cannot be cured without drastic steps. Fortunately, we have taken a positive steps in the form of right to information, etc. But a great deal needs to be done still. Next है बच्चे, my aim in life. In this ever-changing world, it is a though task to choose a right career from a myriad of careers which are available to a person. It is still tougher to find out if a career will suit to the taste and temperaments of the individuals. There are many professions these days, but for me, the thought of becoming a teacher has always appeared alluring to me. I have a great regard for a teacher's professions. A teacher is the architect for a nation's destiny. His nobles and the scared service. He is the most respected person in the society. He is regarded as a symbol of knowledge and wisdom. He always lives in close association with the young people and guides them on their courses of life. He enjoys the company of books. Besides, he has many holidays during which he can devote himself to the study of myriad branches of knowledge. He can also take part in extracurricular activities to refresh his mind, that help him to retain his zest for life. I am making effort to realize by aim in life. Apart from pursuing studies wholeheartedly, I have formed some good habits like early rising, punctuality and humility, so that I can guide my pupils to the right path of their lives. Next है बच्चे, role of computer. Modern life cannot be imagined without computer. It is latest marvels of modern science and technology. The widespread applications of the fine electric service clearly indicates that we have at last ushers in the information age. Transmissions of information within the shortest possible time has become possibly only due to it. This electronic appliance stores countless data, analyzes them and works out the correct calculation in no time. It saves time, efforts and energy. It reduces errors and cost. It promotes all kinds of services. It eliminates all the hazards of paperwork and expands business opportunity. Whether a bank of an office, a college and university, a library or a hotel, an individual of modern age finds himself unable to function without computer. Computer has come and conquered and the outdated mindset. Now its benefits should cascade down to the lowest. So ये students बच्चे आपने जो पढ़े ये कुछ ऐसे थे जो आपने प्रॉपर तरीके से इनको रीड आउट करते हुए इनको ये भी देखा होगा आपने किस तरह से यहाँ पे मेरिट और डीमेरिट्स को और कंक्लूजन को कैसे यहाँ पर ऐसे के अंदर पूरा प्रॉपर तरीके से राइट डाउन किया गया है. तो इसी बेस पर अगर आपको कोई टाइटल मिलता है तो आपको ऐसे बच्चे ऐसे से ही प्रॉपर तरीके से राइट डाउन करना होता है एग्जाम के अंदर भी, और इनकी प्रैक्टिस आपने करनी है पूरा अच्छे से दोबारा से पढ़ के इनको रीड आउट करते हुए और इनकी प्रॉपर इंफॉर्मेशन उनके लॉजिक को जानते हुए, और तब आपने इसकी प्रैक्टिस अच्छे से करनी है बच्चों.